We saw Dennis Kucinich run on that issue, and I was a strong Kucinich backer, and I would have much preferred him to Obama, actually. But Obama's more of a professional, finessing politician, I think. But what we saw is Kucinich advocating single payer, and he was totally marginalized by the media. He was pushed to the edge of the stage in the debates, gave it a fraction of the time, and in the newspaper coverage afterward, they would never put any quotes by him.
Ask the alien question.
Well, and then he was dropped from the debates.
Right. Yeah, he was kept out of debates, and then
we've never had a debate on single payer.
Even our local
really.
papers, Democrat Gazette, etc., they would never include quotes by Kucinich. It would always be the top tier. Obama.
Well, Obama would not be president if he was not very good at keeping the heat down. But even though he is good at that, the heat is still way up. So what do we do now? I'm sorry.
I want to bring it back to fundamentals for just a minute. I'm a physicist. I try to always look at the fundamental. What's really down underneath this thing? The fact is, we're fighting a very conservative public in this country. We're a conservative nation. We're a right-wing nation. I think we're at the peak of that, if anything, right now. In that atmosphere, it's very hard to pass any kind of rational legislation, especially about something as broad and as important as health care. I think a basic education is what's needed in this country.
I agree with the education, but I disagree with the first part, though, because we're told, and the public knowledge is that we are a conservative nation, but we're seeing the direction of our country become more and more progressive, and we know that corporations want to encourage this cultivation of conservatism, i.e., which means favoring corporate interests versus the public interest, and really, we're more progressive than we're led to believe, I think. And Kucinich, I believe, was more mainstream than we were led to believe. He was with the public on the Iraq War. He was with the public on impeachment. And actually, on health care, he is with the public. We have seen a New York Times poll said 72% support a public option. So, I mean, and we have other polls, you may disagree with them. I need to look into them more, but said a majority support single payer.
I've seen those, and I
want to double check on them, but I mean, I think the public may be more progressive than we're led to believe, and we just have the media is controlled by the conservative interests, the corporate interests, and we're not, I think we're holding back our potential.
And that the public is as progressive as they are is a miracle, given the control of information in the United States.
Yeah. We are at least deeply divided into a progressive faction in this country and a conservative faction. And it's almost down the middle, I think, 50%.
The demonizing of the progressive faction by the far right wing with the swift boating and so forth scares everybody else off. Yeah. And if they're going to be demonized, if they're going to be, nobody wants to be not mainstream in this country. We're still a middle class country, though we're more and more indentured servants in terms of the insurance companies and banks, but we still want to be with the mainstream. So that demonization is what really troubles me. I'm looking at the time here, and I see we have about 20 minutes to cover the entire rest of the world. This debate, I'm quite certain, will continue. And Abel, I'm glad to hear, I take it as a bit of a happy thing that you're saying, look, there could be something worse than nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Well, maybe I shouldn't be happy about that, but
I mean, Art could be right. I mean, we could pass a really bad health care reform bill, and we could evolve it in the future. So that's a possibility. So
it's very, very difficult time.